flashlights in your carry-on. It doesn't take much. Throw some extra batteries in there. Boom. If you don't need them, who cares? If you need them, that's whenever you're going to feel really good about carrying your flashlights. And so we use the flashlights a lot. Hell, even just carrying the Colonel blade, nobody had a pocket knife to open things or, do things. And, a Leatherman is another good thing to carry because you're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, just because you go to another country on vacation does not mean that they're going to have everything that you need should something pop up. Hell, I did not realize it because I don't get out of Texas. St. Lucia uses European style plugs, wall outlets. So we couldn't charge phones. We couldn't do anything like that. Luckily, the lady that run the villa trusted us and hooked us up with a bunch of converters from American style plugs and that go to their Euro plugs. And their Euro plugs come out of the wall at, everything we have is like 110. Well, their stuff is 210, 220. So you have to convert it. So like I couldn't use the CPAP machine. I had hell charging vape batteries for my puffer, charging phones. I mean, everything was kind of everybody was, there were 17 people there. So we all had to trade off the plugs to get everybody's stuff charged up at all the time, at all times. So if you're going out of country, that's something to think about. They're real cheap. Just get on Amazon, buy a couple of converter plugs just in case you need them. Because nobody knew that. Like I said, I don't get out of Texas that much, so who the hell knew? And far be it for me to do any kind of research on where I'm going because I like surprises. But it was a very beautiful experience, but it is a poor place. The crime rate that with our guide and our drivers, they said the crime rate's pretty low, but it is a very poor country. Only 1% of the population of men actually have a job, and 100% or 90% of that 1% has a job in tourism. So they rely extremely heavily on tourism for their source of income. And not everybody is super pleased with Americans or tourists coming and hanging out and gawking at all their cool stuff, and so, I mean, you just got to kind of take that into consideration that, it is a very, very friendly place and it's very beautiful, but not everybody may appreciate your presence like everybody else. So, it's good to have just some peace of mind, a couple of flashlights, some kind of sharp object to maybe put in somebody's face or open a box of beer or something, a case of beer. That's another thing. They didn't have any beer that I recognized. They had this stuff called Piton beer, which is the Mount Piton, and they come in 6-packs, and so we had to buy a shitload of 6-packs. But it was wet and it was beer, so we drank the hell out of it. But it doesn't hurt just to bring the things that you are allowed to bring. If you're flying, you can bring stuff. Don't be so damn scared of the FAA and all that stuff. And if you are worried that maybe they won't let you fly with it with whatever you bring, and you think that they may make you throw it away or whatever, then don't bring something expensive. Get like a cheap pocket knife, a cheap multi-tool, and cheap flashlight. And if they give you shit about it, you're only out a few bucks. You can get this stuff at Harbor Freight or Northern Tool, stuff like that. But I had faith that I was in no danger of having to relinquish my items. Like I said, the knife and the tactical pen, that stuff went in the check baggage, and then my carry-on, I carried my lights and my little multi-tool. Didn't have a blade on it. You got to make sure that if you have a multi-tool, it doesn't have a blade. And they have all those stipulations on the website. So just make sure that you check that stuff out and be prepared. Don't just bring your sunblock and your sunglasses and your mosquito nets. Make sure that you bring a little more than that, and just kind of think ahead that you're going to another country, and where we went, you couldn't just go down to the local Walmart and pick up what you needed. we was over an hour away from the nearest place to get anything. So, I mean, a little common sense goes a long ways. And I invite you to check out the GoPro footage because it's really beautiful. And it's a beautiful place to visit. It was a little more hardcore than just going to a sandals resort. You had to bring your own food and your own drink to the villa and stuff, and you couldn't just make a run to the beer store. So make sure you think about that kind of stuff. Bring a few items. Bring some items with you on your vacations when you're going out of town or out of country, or what. Even if you're in country, bring stuff that you know that you may need, and it doesn't have to be some kind of crazy ass bug out bag. Just the simplest things go a long ways. When you can't get a hold of anything, and just a little bit of ingenuity can help make your trip a lot funner, a lot safer, and you can overcome any small obstacles that come your way. And by no means am I some kind of prepper or anything like that, but this is just common sense stuff. So I hope this helps some of you out that may be going on a trip for vacations and stuff. We're going to be doing some live fire training tomorrow. We're going to get some good footage of that. Me and Garrett from Landers Web Solutions, we're going to do some hardcore stuff tomorrow at the range. It's going to be hot. It's going to be grueling. It's going to be tough. He's going to the tactical games in August, so we're going to try and get him toughened up, sharpen his shooting skills like he needs it. I'll be the one that needs it. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you got something out of this. Remember, ask questions. Just make sure the questions you're asking are the ones that are worth answering.